Good morning, traders. This is Rose with Brooks Price Action. All right, it's Friday, and it is 2 minutes after 9 a.m. Sorry, I had to go get coffee, and I was literally scraping the bottom of the pot. So I'm not happy with the person who made the coffee this morning. I should have. I even got up early, but for some reason, I let the other person make the coffee. It's not like me, so I'm suffering now. But I do have some coffee, so everything's good. It's Friday. Happy Friday. We're going to open gap down big time, and we're going to be testing this low of this trading range. Okay, so we're going to open somewhere around here this morning. So here's your Globex chart. We do have a large Globex range, Globex high. Okay, so starting with the after hours high. So I mean, we could still sell at the open, but 80% of the time we're going to test some support and resistance at the open when we gap down or gap up. So I'm looking for that real quickly before I go to bar by bar reading. So I'm trying to find, since we're going to open around here, let's see, we do have an area that I am interested, which we tested already, but this right here is basically what I want to see us dipping in at the open before going right back up again, and that could happen. So I'm going to try to take the congested area, give or take. I'm not very, probably not very accurate with the selection, but I'm trying to be. So this area seems to be, so we could just dip quickly before going back up again. So these two areas are important. We have already tested the top of this area. So these are area of interest to me. All right, so what has happened yesterday? Well, I don't need to say anything about the monthly bar. You can see it has become a doji. We were up here. It was a lot more bullish bar, but we've tested the high of this month. And my entire goal was to really wait for bulls to get to this moving average, which is 10 SMA, this golden line. And I wanted to see that tested before we start to come down. And then going down on the higher time frames, the weekly chart, I mean, we've accomplished some of my, this was my second bull target. And not only we've tested way above it, we've come very close to this 50 SMA, 50-day moving average, but we did not necessarily, I don't know what this is. I'm going to get rid of that. We did not really test it thoroughly. So, I mean, that's, let's see, that's quite far away now. But moving averages, testing or no testing, this was the entire, okay, goal of these bulls pushing up. I said we have liquidity here, and we needed to tap into that liquidity right there above that equal highs before we coming down, because if market needs some sort of energy to go one way or the other fast, those equal highs and lows, okay, so certain support resistance, supply and demand, whatever you call, okay, we need to tap into that area, run some stops, kick people out of their positions, scare some, and entice others to jump in and create some kind of impulsive move up or down. So today's Friday, end of week, so we're going to see some moves probably. Now, can we sell at the open? We're going to be gapping down a lot, but I don't know if market can sell. It could sell. So, but I think we're going to try to go up a little bit to find a better average price to sell, which I'm going to talk about that on the 5-minute. But anyway, so we are below this trend line that I put in, and I say it's important that you see that the bulls failed to close above it. They tested it, and that you need to take profit there. If you didn't, you would have a runner, and that's what I said above these 2 bars. We're gonna test that, and we could come back down very quickly. Now, I don't know if this is calculated right. Maybe we already have tested. There's a gap there, but I know that that is the SMA. So anyway, we are below this now. Can we come down to here? Yes. So I'm gonna mark that. That breakout test area. Okay. But that would be about 45-point sell. Now, that will be a lot at the open, but we'll see. So that's what I'm keeping an eye on the weekly. And of course, last week's high, mids, and low levels are magnets. So we've been trimming this channel up lower trend line since yesterday. I want to point out something before I go back to the daily. Yesterday, when price, this was us, okay, and I said that we did not test that lower trend line, and I even doubted my skills. Maybe I have. Hold on, let me check. No, we did actually. I didn't do a very good job there, but we did test it. So we pushed up, okay, but I did not like that. I wanted to see a little bit of breach outside, okay, but it was still a good buy signal bar. Okay, so then I said, okay, so if this hour closes strongly bullish, we're probably going to test above it before coming back down and testing yet again, because we need that second leg possibly, and I really liked some kind of breach outside of this trend line before buying again. So in fact, we did. You could have also said, well, this is the trend line, right? So then we need the third push. So that is your third push and third touch right there, and then the buyers showed up. So it's very important that you do look at the hourly chart. So we're still trimming that lower trend line. If we do sell, this moving average is also magnet. But on the daily, so we're going to open up here. So we went up, that's leg 1, pull back, leg 2. So we basically are in the leg 2, okay? And now, is this good enough to sell for a couple of, I don't know, a couple of days, maybe into next week? And, you know, Al is saying we're going to come down 300 points, and we could very well test the 4,000. That's what he's expecting, somewhere here, like somewhere around here. I mean, obviously, we're not going to have that today, but have we started that? I don't think we have yet. Today could be another, after selling maybe a little bit, another bull day, possibly, because bears need a double top. And we have left this trend line behind, okay, these falling resistance line behind, and we did not tested it yet. So we need to test this. We haven't tested it yet. So we just need to perhaps test it and then come down. I'd like to see some kind of double top, but we are testing that 200-day moving average. Now, we could perhaps test it quickly without breaching. That could still give us a double top, and then we could end up coming down. So we'll see, but we are going to open right here, bearish, okay, and that is the second leg down, right? And that's also, you see this right here, that day's high. So basically that's support. We could bounce yet again right there. So it's going to be an interesting day. All right, so we talked about the hourly, and Globex, we have a very wide range, but we're at the low, and we have some resistance. Now, the overnight session is pretty much sold, and Asia claimed 1 to, I believe this is 3 to 1. 4 to 1 is down here, and this is what I'm interested, this entire area. Because if you take a look at this volume profile here, okay, buyers are here still waiting, okay? We could still dip there, make a double bottom before going back up again. And in fact, we could dip right here before going back up. But look what happened here overnight. So several bear flags. We moved underneath a major moving average, which is weave up. So here's a bear flag, impulsive sell, and we have a gap. When you have a gap from whatever the moving average you're using, expect another maybe 2 legs down, 2 more bear flags. Okay, so here's another bear flag. Here's another bear flag. And we're finally going into some accumulation mode. Okay, and look at the wedge that we are forming. We're forming a trading range, therefore trading ranges, you expect to see some wedge formations just like we had yesterday. Okay, so we're going up, but there's resistance here. Even if we test this area, we're most likely to come back down because this is now accumulation, aka trading range, and we could come back down a little bit more before reversing back up if we reverse. All right, so yesterday was an interesting day. Okay, so we opened up inside as an inside day right here. There was a slight gap down, but nothing significant right here. So what does this really mean? What does this really mean? You got a first, okay, bar is a bear close. Now, when you get this, right, you got to stop and think. If I'm selling this, am I selling into some kind of, it's still a gap down, slight, but it is. Am I selling into some kind of trading range, right? I'm sorry, some kind of trading range lows or some kind of support? What am I selling into, right? So if you are selling, if you think that there is support there, maybe you need to wait for bar 2. If you are expecting bearish conditions, you at least want to see bar 2 also closing on its low and bearish, possibly. So the bar 2 did not really close bearish at all. Okay, and right, so it is a inside bar. It's a overlapping 2 bars, bar 1 and 2, and that's pretty much telling you we have an opening range, right? So you have buyers probably below that bar 2. You have sellers at the open or the top of that wick of bar 1. You're going to sell above things, buy below things. We know it's a trading range, but you also see a wedge right there, right? So that means buyers are definitely here, but yesterday I said we have some gap areas here. So if you're really interested in finding buyers, you may want to pay attention to those gap areas, because we had measuring gaps there and we both pretty strong. Another measuring gap here, we both strong. Okay, so when we get down here, those areas are going to act as support. Okay, so you need to maybe wait for price to go down and test those levels, and there's another one right there. Okay, but it's kind of a weak one. Okay, we did try to get down there. However, we ended up testing this area. There was another one. 1, 2, we didn't come all the way down here. So those early sellers right here, they're trapped and they're not happy, but chances are they see a limit order market, they're going to put a limit order sell right there, and they're going to try to break even. But they got a nice price bear bar with bar 4. Now they're okay, so we broke even, that was the whole goal, but the second sell from here is already making money. So let's maybe we should continue to sell since there is buy area right there. So you expect a little bit more down, but look what happened after bar 4. Bar 4 is a breakout bar, okay? It's not the most strongest breakout bar, but it is a breakout bar. So you expect immediately, okay, because you're selling into a trading range low, there are buyers, automatic buyers. You're expecting a pullback bar if you want to sell. Remember, this is a limit order market. It's trying to turn into a stop order market, but the breakout is weak. So if you're selling this, you're most likely to get stuck, okay? And you did get stuck. So the bears are not happy. They were not happy selling there or there, okay? Now they're not happy yet again, right? So, but a bar like this will probably going to get another leg down. So they're expecting that leg, but they want to see how strong that leg is. As you can see, here's leg 1, leg 2, and that leg was very, very weak. Bar 7 closed on its side with a small bear body with a lower wick. You know that the market started to fade these lows. So you got another wedge here, 1, pullback, 2, pullback, and 3. So we now have a wedge around, let's see what time that is, around 10 o'clock. Remember what I say all the time, around 10 o'clock, 10 a.m. Eastern time, I'm either looking for that, okay, to sell, or that to buy, or some kind of wedge, okay, or some kind of wedge. So we've got a wedge right here, and the buy signal bar is actually a bear bar. So no one's going to buy above that. Even if they bought it, they're probably going to buy because this is a limit order market breaking out yet again, but it's very poor breakout. When you see a pin bar like this, if it's not a bull bar, chances are at the 50%, there are buyers waiting. So you can wait for bars to dip into the 50% area and then put a buy order. You get a better fill and you actually make better money. So you get the high 1. Terrible continuation, but then you get this high 2. That's great, okay? You can buy that close, right? So there's not much of a space here, but we are in the second leg up to the EMA. So the target is EMA, and then as market gets to the EMA, they're probably going to take profit. And I told you guys, market sold at the EMA with a double top, okay? And it's probably going to try to sell again because you are trying to buy against this very strong bear bar that has a measuring gap here. Okay, so if you actually measure, you get a 1-to-1 target. So chances are there were bears trying to get in. Those sell orders are going to get activated. Those that didn't get activated as they were selling. Okay, so these are basically, if you ask why this bull move up failed here, not went up to there, go up there, it's because of those reasons. There's a gap here, okay? And even if there is a wick like that, that's still to me a gap. So I told you guys to take profit here, and the market came down. But look what's happening yet again. Every bear close, a strong bear close bar, not getting any continuation, no follow through. When a follow through fails, okay, you know that the bulls are taking control of the market and they want to push this higher. So you got bulls here, failed, you got bulls again. So even if you're in a limit order market, if you're trying to sell here, don't sell, bet against the bears and buy instead. So we got another high close, and you get a higher low double bottom after a wedge and nested wedges, right? So you have really a good major trend reversal opportunity here. All you have to do, if you want to buy with a stop order, just put a buy order 1 tick above that bar. You're going to get filled. You need to grab a 1 point or 2 points. But if there's EMA here, just take that 1 point. Your stop should be here. But once we take out that high, okay, you can move that stop right there. We took that high out, so we have some kind of measured move, okay? You could take that. Okay, we're trying to get there. But measured moves, these targets are, one thing. Trading ranges are another. You have to look at what's before that target waiting for bulls, right? The 1 hour EMA is a magnet. The top of the trading range is a problem, right? This area, yesterday I marked that area for you with a resistance zone, and I said if we get there, this measured move target will be obsolete. And in fact, if you count, right, so from here to here, you can say that was a 15-point move from here, or if you're taking it from this area, okay? But I want to first look at how much the bears actually sell here. No, that's already more than 5 points, almost 10 points. So I would not be counting from here. I'd be counting from here. So they're going into the 15, 16, basically the 20-point zone. So they're going to take profit regardless. However you count it, however you look at it, there will be a profit taken here, and you need to pay yourself. And then it comes back down again. So it's a trading range, obviously. So the bulls and the bears, both parties are not very happy because their breakouts are failing, okay? Their breakouts are failing. But I think the bulls are in control because we have now 1 and 2 bars closed above the EMA. We have always in long conditions. So if the bar 16 complete body from high to the low, the entire bar is above it, most likely we're going to get a pullback, okay? You can say, okay, I have a trading range here. I'm going to measure this trading range. I want to see where the pullback is going to end. Okay, here is the 50% pullback. Look at the bear body, 3 bear bars, but bears are not able to close below that 50%. So that is a sign number 1. For me, it is. So I'm now looking at, will they close it? Will they get actually a bear bar? If they cannot get a bear bar, that's it. Bears are done. We're going to reverse. We're doing a deep pullback, okay, because it's a trading range day now, but we're going to continue to go up. So here you go. You got a beautiful buy signal bar. This is also a wedge, right? Down, up, and that 1 bar, not only it's up, also the down, right? So hang on a minute, guys. Okay, so that there's a wedge right there, and trading range days, you're going to get a lot of wedges, which is the best way to trade. For me, I kind of favor trading range days because the wedge formations are very visible. You're going to get all kinds of wedges. You're going to get micro wedges. You're going to get parabolic wedges. You're going to get wedges with deep valleys and peaks. So you can actually recognize them and still trade with them and make money if the trading range is wide and you do not want to wait price to come down to the low of the wedge, the trading range, buy it, and then go to the high of the range so that you can sell it. You can use the wedges to still trade in between and scalp, okay? So you got a good signal. You can buy as early as there. Your stop is there. And then you get this gap bar. So you have a measuring gap right there, right? And if I actually measure it, so I'm going to take that, okay? Or you could say, well, no, what about this? That's fine, right? So that's your 1-to-1 right there. We are testing above the this structure, but we are breaking above it. And with bar 23, we have a breakout bar. So you know this bar is probably going to get continuation. So we're going further up. Now, there's a climactic move down, 68 and 70, and then 68, 69, and 70, right? So chances are somewhere there, we're trying to get up there. But when I'm in a bull trend, I look at the quality of the bars and I try to see good follow-through bars if I am targeting those highs. Now, do you see a good follow-through? I mean, look at the bar 23. That's nice, right? We have a nice breakout. And even if you get your measured move, we never got that measured move, right? But I did say yesterday, bar 67 is my target, and somewhere in the 50% of that bar, and right here, the zone, I'm going to take profit if I don't see bull bars closing on their highs. We did not see bull bars closing on their highs. They started to get smaller and smaller. Upper wick started to get bigger, right? So there's a wedge here, another wedge, and then there's a larger wedge here. So I'm pretty much done here. I am going to take profit, and you guys saw me taking profit. So now we're coming down, right? So you have the first sell, and then you get the second sell right here. Those who actually kept buying, wanting to go into that measured move, they got a chance to break even, but you see this bar 32, they see that bar 32, they will give up. When the bulls start to give up, you start to get bars closing on their mid and lows, and then we got this bar. Now that was a bit of a surprise yesterday. I was not expecting. I was actually expecting maybe pull back to EMA, which I sold and took profit, but I expected a bull flag there, right? So wedge bull flag, maybe like that, but that would be a wrong way to count it, right? So it would be 1 pull back, 2 pull back, and 3, I said, this is great. I'm going to take profit because I sold this. Now I'm waiting for a bull bar. And then I started typing some messages on Discord. I turned my head, and then bar 35 happened. And somebody was alerting me, and they're like, oh, how about the bar 35? What bar 35? Oh, did it buy? So let me jump in and be a, long again. And I look at, oh my goodness, that's not good. So here we go. We have a major, gap there. You know that gap is going to create 2 legs down. And a surprise bar like that, you're going to get probably, because that's basically any kind of surprise move, you're going to get continuation. It's basically a spike, pullback, and channel. In that channel, you're going to get 2 legs possibly, if not 3. But 2 is what we were looking for. So I sold it, right? And but I still expected some kind of support around here, because these levels are liquidity levels, right? So those who bought, they have their stops there, and the market is looking to an area where they can run some liquidity and then reverse, because they need that energy, they need that gas, right? So they refuel their tanks right at the liquidity levels, right? They couldn't get down to this one, that's fine. And then you get this 2-bar reversal combo. If you do buy this, you're still going against a tight bear channel, okay? So chances are we're going to come down first before we're going up. We might even come down all the way to here. I expected maybe a double bottom, but that double bottom never came in. And so what we got was there is the early, bull flag. Once I see that bull flag and there's a wedge, right? So let's see, 1 pullback, 2 pullback, and 3. I marked that bar 40 because I was trading that. I marked that bar 40. I marked the 50%, right? Because that's the last push down and a trap of bears of the wedge push down. That's the last leg. So I'm looking for, if we're going to come down here, that means that 50%, we need to close a bear bar. We never close that bear bar, okay? Instead, we close the bull bar above it. I'm done. I'm no longer looking to sell. I'm buying. So, but I'm a little bit late buying there, so I waited for a pullback, another bull flag. So basically, I'm looking for at least 3 to 4 bull flags. Bull flag 1, bull flag, that's an implied flag, okay? That's a bull flag. 2, bull flat with micro double bottom, another breakout, okay? Then we get some kind of, triangle, which is the last flag. And look, at this point, I'm not seeing any of this. I'm seeing this as maybe this is a last flag. We go out there, no good breakout. We come right back down. But again, we're not taking out these lows, right? We're making another triangle. This one is a lot better. Okay, fine. Now, this is the final flag possibly, and we do break out. And we had a really nice breakout. We tested the high of this trading range. Then we ended up selling at the end of the day. I did not trade this. I think I was done around here. I don't like to trade after bar 70, 72. So I kind of walked away, but that was yesterday. So yesterday was a trading range day, but it's trending up. Okay, but bulls really couldn't go up to this trading range highs. We ended up making a lower high, another lower high, another lower high. Now we're testing the low of this trading range, right? We're at the open of the week, which is, I said, a magnet, right? And we're below yesterday, last week's high. So low of yesterday is target. We could find support underneath low of yesterday, but if we start to close below the level of yesterday and open new bear bars, so let's say if the two bars are actually bearish, okay, bear closes, we could get a sell at the open, a bear trend. Okay, so let's see. And if it gets stronger, we could end up selling all the way down to 42.30 area, in fact. So I'm waiting for bar one to close. We're closer to the Globex low, okay? I said we're probably going to test this area, but there's probably sellers there, but let's just wait. Bears need good bear closes to sell. So we tested the low of yesterday with, let me see, 55, with literally one tick. So if we do not get that bear bar, we could end up getting a reversal at the open. But again, I'm speculating because I don't have information yet. All I know that we've sold at the open, right? So testing a support, the trading range low. So we know there are buyers. Maybe, possibly, if this continues to come down, okay, 2 point, 5 point, 10 point, okay, buyers could be waiting down here, okay, so because this is good enough perhaps for them to buy low enough, but it may be too low for bears to also sell. So if they do sell, we have a doji now. If the second bar closes on its low, if we do sell, I think the buyers are still waiting here. Now, you got a doji, not a strong bear bar. And that's a sign that this could be too low to sell for bears here, okay? But I'm going to wait for the bar 2. We just opened literally right at the open of the week. And we have been testing for some time, so we know that this area is important. Have been testing for some time, so we know that this area is important. Open of the day, open of the week, all in same place. We have a magnet here on the daily, which is the 50% of the year's midpoint. So that's kind of attracting price market. We have overlapping bars, bar 1 and bar 2. So it's kind of a limit order market, but there's still more than 2.5 minutes for this bar to close. Bears want to break that bar 1's low and continue down and get a early measured move target. I think the buyers are waiting here, but I need to wait to see where this bar is going to close. Bears need 2 bars, one of them closing on its low, below the bar 1's low, strong enough to sell. We don't have any news scheduled, although Fed members started to talk at 9 o'clock this morning. There might be a 10 o'clock news, but it's minor. We don't need to worry about it. But you should still keep an eye on the bar 7. Okay, if the bears continue to sell this and close this bar on its low, 52.75 and 51.75 is going to be target, and we could bounce there. Okay, so they did breach the bar 1 low. They need to close that bar on its low to continue to sell. And at the open, if we gap down, okay, we have, so trying to see, so this seems like if we do get the second bar, bear bar, so we can expect another leg or 2 down into that support area that I talked about. So bears need to do better here in less than 5 seconds and close that bar on its low. All right, so they did a horrible close. It's still closed below its mid, but it's not that strong, but you still have 2 bars. One of them is outside down, but it's a doji, but it's still bearish, right? So it's not that bearish. I hope that we would get this. Okay, so I am a little bit wary of the bears here, but they should push this down a little bit at least. But to me, those are overlapping bars, and the bulls want to get back up above the open of the week and get back to the low of yesterday. Now, if we get the third bear bar, okay, and fill this lower wick of bar 2, then the bear pressure is intact and we could continue to come down. So it's just struggling a little bit. So wait for, now, if the first bar 2 is not clear, then wait for the bar 3. So there you go. So they're trying to fill that, and because they're trying to get down to the target, 52.75 or 51.75. I did say that this area is resistance, and most likely we will try to sell. It's also the trading range highs. So if you're buying that Globex bar close, assuming this is going to break out even to towards these levels, you're mistaking, because this bar is kind of designed to trap you. Okay, here we go. So you can actually measure quickly. You get a micro double top, and you have a measured move target by using first 3 bars range breakout. We did tested my target, 51.75, 52.75. We're coming closer to this area. We will come back to the open of the week most likely, and price is going to oscillate there. Now, what I said about you also need to mark, okay? So that was 10, 15 point, maybe even 20 point down from that low. Okay, we could continue to push. Buyers are probably okay. So we are bearish. It's good for the bears. You do have the measured move target here. Now, if profit taking here at the 10 point is not that strong, we're going to continue down to 48.75 to 47.75. We're closer to the Globex low. We might actually test and break out from there, but first, this is an important support, okay? And you guys need to pay attention to that, because 80% of the days with strong sell-off on open will have minor legs or reversal up lasting about 5 bars. We didn't even have that. So this is pretty strong, but we will get that reversal up. If the reversal fails, then we're going to get a bunch of bear flags and we could continue to sell. So this is right here is my still target. I sold it. I took profit, scalped right where I said it's going to go down. somewhere between 48.75 to 47.75. I ended up taking profit at 48. I didn't wait for this measured move target. Why didn't I wait for the measured move target? Well, it's because we're already testing support, and I know it's going to bounce. It's probably going to continue, but I want to take profit on if in case it fails and just goes right back up. I don't want to be stuck in there. So I found a good sweet spot, and I took profit. Now, it's so close to the target, it should tag it, but there's no such thing should or could or would, okay? That machines are calculating and they see what I see way before I see, okay? But we've got a nice gap bar here, so this is probably going to get down here. It's higher probability that we would claim that target. In fact, we could test 42.45, 3 ticks below that target, and then bounce. But I took profit a little bit early, and I'm not ashamed of doing that. But remember, this has been selling, okay? This has been selling for some time. So when you get a bar like this, I mean, you should also start to think, is this exhaustion? How far is this going to go? We're in some kind of, okay, support here. Maybe I need to start, you know, picking up my marbles from the floor and get going. You know what I mean? I mean, this could be game over very quickly, and you could be stuck in a reversal, because we're going to get a couple of bars, maybe 5 bars, market trying to reverse back up eventually. But it's a gap bar, so I'm going to measure that real quickly. The continuation target for bears is down here, which is closer to the other area, support area that I tagged. But I think you really need to pay yourself. We're going to bounce here. You can always, you know, sell the pullback. If you see another bar close and taking off the lows and it's a good close, you could sell that as well. How it is struggling here, it's because machines know that, and they're taking profit, they're front running their profit taking. A couple of ticks before the target, that would be 2 ticks before the target, 0.25 versus 0.75, so there's a 2 tick difference. But I warned you that this could be that exhaustion they might be seeing into the support, and they do not want to sell it. So hopefully you paid yourself. Now, if this bar closes, I'm going to get rid of this for a minute, okay? And now you have your measurement. I'm going to also get rid of it. If this bar closes bullish, chances are there will be sellers waiting above that. So we could just go up and then come back down yet again. But if it closes bearish, then it's going to continue down to the measured move at the 45.75. But if you want to stay, you know, in your short, that's fine. Just measure, okay? Measuring that gap and getting this, or you could do, sometimes I do like take the midpoint of that gap and I try to get some conservative targets to scalp a little and then leave a runner if I do see bear pressure is intact. But we just tested, okay, the measured move target and now taking profit. So I take great pleasure of measuring things. It's especially, you know, well, I don't really measure anything else in life. You should see me in the kitchen trying to cook. I have no measurements whatsoever. Everything tastes horrible. But I do like to measure everything on the chart, you know. It's kind of important. You want to make a living. You want to make sure you don't get stuck. So the reason why we're bouncing there, it's because it is the it was the measured move for the 3-bar range breakout. Now, Can we continue to sell? Well, there's a strong support at 41.75, 42.41.75. Okay, market already moved 15 points. Okay, so it's kind of breaching below that. If bears continue to take out the low prior bars lows like bar 4, they're going to try to come down to 42.75 or even 42 area or 41.75, which they tested before on the right here on the Globex session. Okay, so it's right here. They could still test, but this area could hold. Okay, bears. So what they're doing, again, just like yesterday's price action I showed on the RTH chart, on the ETH, we have some liquidity levels here. Before they reverse back up, they need to run those stops underneath those lows, and that's what they're coming to get, basically. So I marked this area. If you're on the ETH chart, let me show you where these two lines come from. See this right here? Double top and that right there, and there's a gap right there. So I marked that area, assuming that we could pull back down. All right, so we did pull down to that target 41.75 and immediately bounced right before it, maybe one tick above that. But you see, if I go back to the RTH, so now if I actually measure that gap again, 3-bar gap, 2, 3, and 4, there's a gap here. This is how I measure it for continuation targets. There's still room there, okay? And then I did, if this is too much and you think the price is not going to go there, then do a conservative, measuring gap. I take the, give or take 50%, something like that, and somewhere there, okay, you would take profit. But here's your continuation target, 37.75 or 40.41 area. Now, these are all measuring. These are all great. But my favorite way to measure is to find that. Now, look at that. That is a 20-pointer. Look at that. Now, that's the most accurate way of measuring. 20-point right there and bounces. I have several different ways to measure, and I always sell, take profit, sell, take profit. And I always have some kind of runner target that I don't touch, okay? But I'm always selling, always taking profit, always selling, always taking profit. I sell with market, I sell with stops, whatever I can get my hands on. If I see bars are closing on their mid and below their mids, and especially if they're closing on their lows, I'm going to sell below those bars with stop order, or I'm going to try to get in with limit order. But in this case, you're having a hard time getting a limit order because you're probably not going to get filled right away, or you're going to scramble. You're not going to be able to put a order in time because we're making gaps here, okay? So just hit the sell, market sell, okay? So you're probably going to get a slippage, but it really doesn't matter because you know where it's going. So we did come down to the target that I talked about, which I said we would test 42.75 or 41.75, and we're just tested it and bounced a little. So we should get a good bounce here, at least a little bit. It's an important area. It's a 20-point area. Can the bears continue to sell this? Well, this is now a bear trend from the open, right? And it's probably going to come down further, and it's steadily selling rather than making ginormous, big bars. It's actually stair-stepping down, so this is good, steady selling. We could end up making and probably will, a bear flag and then come back down again into this area, okay? So if we do pull back probably may die here before coming down, or we're going to keep selling. But I think we're going to pull back at least to somewhere here maybe. We'll see. Another sell the close bar See, I didn't sell that. I ordered to profit because I think we're due for a bear flag, so it needs to bounce a little bit at least to create that. Now, can the bears be selling above this bull bar? Yes, they can. Generally, when you have several gapping legs like this, it's possible that that the sellers will be ready to sell again above any first bull bar. But if it keeps selling, then you know where we're trying to go. It's on the daily chart, the 42.2075 or 21 area, right? So that's where we're trying to go. All right, so we broke the Globex low. I said on pre-market reading, I said this area is important, and we're probably going to try to keep selling. So 1-to-1, 2-to-1, 3-to-1. That is the 4-to-1 Asia range breakout target. And I do have a strong support here. If we close this bar bearish, we could go back up and test the Globex low line quickly and continue to sell, or we're just going to keep selling. So I went flat here. I took full profits. I didn't want to linger much because I'm expecting a little bit of pullback. Just going to measure that again. See where we are? Look where they took profit, just a little bit under. They're overshooting because ATR is more than 5 points. 7 is pretty strong. I mean, that's still pretty, it's telling you the minimum, the price is going to move 7 points up and down. In fact, 7 points and an extra quarter. So they overshot, but basically they filled everybody who were waiting to collect at 37.75. Okay, they filled everyone. It just moved more than 1 point below. We're so close to this area. Okay, so we're probably going to test it eventually, but right now it's pulling back up. And this is what I was expecting. Okay, so now I'm going to watch the Globex chart to see where the bears are going to close that bar, inside the Globex range or outside the Globex range. We already broke out of the range. So if we fail to close outside, which is unlikely because we do have targets here, but it can still close inside, that would become a failed bear breakout. I'm expecting a little bit more push down. It's pulling back to see if there are any sellers in that gap area or the breakout area. Okay, so below the low of bar 4 is where bar 5 broke down, but a little bit below, because there's a gap there, sellers could be waiting. So we could get continuation down. We're probably going to test, let's see, if we can break the low of that bar 6, it could be a continuation pause, and it is. We're definitely going to test the 42.75, maybe one tick above, one tick below, but we're going to bounce there. So if you're still selling, it would be beneficial to pay yourself around 42.35 area. Buyers are here. I'm gonna get rid of this. I no longer need it. Now, check this out. The swing short magnet is the mid of last week. Last week on Fridays, you have to pay attention to these weekly levels, okay, especially the last week's levels. So midpoint is right there, marked for you. But before then, we do have a strong buy zone there that is marked. And the daily this year's 50% pullback. Can markets sell another 30, I don't know, 35, 36 points? Yes. Here is also breakout test level on the weekly. So somewhere around here, somewhere underneath on this chart. All right, so the Globex low is broken. We have a bear bar closed. Okay, I warned you about this pullback. Bears need to close a bear bar below the open of that pause bar. Put a line there. If they do close a bear bar here, they're going to continue to sell. Right now, it's pausing. If they do close a bear bar here, they're going to continue to sell. Right now, it's pausing. And if this is too low for bears, they're gonna wait for some kind of pullback, and they will sell that pullback. It's good gap down bars 1, 2, and 3. So market sold with market orders. Everybody hit the market sell. They sold with market sell while this bar was coming down. We don't have a gap down open with 4. We have barely one, but you could see the gaps still forming. So this could be a pullback for bears to get back in. Now, can this be a full reversal? Okay. I'm going to look to see how many bull closes, bulls are going to be stacking here. Okay. Because basically we do have a micro double bottom right now here. You could say this is a micro double bottom. What if they reverse this? I mean, they're going to have to do a heck of a job to reverse this all the way up here. Like, I need to see a one bull bar, another one, maybe testing here, coming back down, and then going back up. So for a V-shaped reversal, bar 7 needs to close way above bar 6 real quickly, and maybe even start to take out bar 5 high immediately. Otherwise, I said, we're going to bounce and we're going to test the low of this support area. Did we not do that? Look, we just did it. So I expected this pullback, and I said there are probably sellers waiting either underneath, right at the 4 low, or a little bit low because there was a major bear gap there. Okay, so now bears need to close a bear bar, take out to open of bar 6 to maintain this bear pressure and sell again. So I'm watching bar 3, but this is first entry long for bulls because the bar 7 went above, okay, bar 6. And 2 bull bars closed, and both of them closed on their mids and by the close bull bars. So now you got another one. And now they're taking out the highs. 3 bull bars. Is it good enough to buy and expect a V-shaped recovery? I still don't think so. Now, where can the bulls take us? They can take us up to 42.45 or 42.45.25 or maybe even 45.50, but I think the sellers are waiting there. 3 small bull bars stacking with bodies closing on their mid to high is good, but it's too weak also for this kind of bear channel down. So take it like this. If we can get some bears finally, okay, selling here, we could end up coming down right there. Okay, so I'm not really wanting to buy this, but this is the first buy. Machines both one tick above. So sellers did show up there, but they couldn't maintain selling. So that's a problem for bears now. Okay, they did sell with a limit order. Sellers, they sold and they took profit right there, and then just this went up and closed on its mid, and then you got a quick little gap at the open of the close of bar 7. So there's a little bit of bull pressure there, but how far can they go? I mean, they're trying to go against a bear channel here. I'm going to wait to see if bulls can test the 42, 45, 50, or 45 area. If they can't, I'm going to look for a bear bar closing on its low. All right, so failure to get third bull bar for bulls is going to be problematic because they're going to basically see that the bull pressure that they've been trying to put in there is now invalidated. So I'm going to look for a second Globex bar closing below the Globex. There's still more than 5 minutes left, but if they do close it, this could come down to where I said that we would go and test. So now, if we do close this at low 1, low 2, sell, so we could get that for bears. They just need to take out these lows. And they did exactly what I expected. So we have a micro double top right underneath that. I said it's probably a little bit lower. Sellers are waiting, I said. So I waited for this to go up a little bit to the 45, at least. If they were really going to push this harder. But because the bar has such gapping down, bears were waiting there. So that was accurate. So I wasn't really looking to buy. I was just looking for reasons for bulls to fail there. Now, can the bears continue to sell this? They're going to have to break these lows and continue down here. So they failed with bar 8, but that's still a strong bear close. They should not allow bulls, bears should not allow bulls push this bar last second in 4 minutes and close inside the Globex range. That would be a failure. The Globex range, that would be a failure. So we need a lower high and sell. So let's see if they can do this. Now, can bulls get a double bottom here? Well, there is a double bottom with 7 and 9 lows, but it's just a little difficult to call that a double bottom. You need a double bottom with bar 6 at least, but when we have this area attracting the bears, it's difficult to buy this. For scalpers, they're gonna try to sell and probably take early profit at 35.50 and maybe 33 area if they can push this, but they need to close a continuation follow through bear bar with bar 9. Bar 8 needs a follow through to sell into 42.29.28 area before buyers show up somewhere. Maybe even, I said earlier, 42.30, and I based that on this range, this area that I found support at the bottom of 42.30, but it could dip a little bit below before finding buyers. So I'm waiting for this bar 9 to close and see if the bears can get that continuation with a follow through bear bar. That means they need to close this bar below the bar 7's low. I like to see bears sell this into the 42, 30, 29, 28 area. Just waiting for this bar to close. There's still 1 minute left. Can the bears get a double bottom in reverse? They can. But I think it's too early for that. There's a better place to buy down at the 28, 29, and 30 area. This is not good enough to be a good double bottom, in my opinion. So we should get continuation. Bears got their continuation, bear closed bar 9, but the body could not take out the 6, but the wick did. So this should still get some continuation down. Let's see, if we can close a bear bar below 35.75, we should continue into 33, 33.25 area. And then furthermore, 42.30. But it's just struggling, you know, the breakout is not really there. But look at what happened to Globex. Now I'm basing my continuation by also looking at Globex. Okay, so this area is attracting the bears, I said, and we did close a good second bear bar, especially taking out the wick of the first Globex bar that broke below the Globex low, so we should get continuation. I'm short. I want to see bears come down to, well, I did say they would come down to 42.35 and bounce there, and they just bounced it. But I would like to see bears after this bounce break that 42.35, continue to go down to this area. But look where the bounce also happened on the micro level, which is 5 minute, right where I marked it. I mean, to the tick bounce. That's too much of a bounce. I don't like it, but I'm still gonna stay. I want to see these pairs push this down to 33, 30, 29, and 28 area. The only time that I'm going to be interested in bulls if they start to take out these highs. Okay. Waiting for this bar, which pulled back. If bar 9 were to close that body at the low of 6 or 1 tick below 6 low, this bar would not be happening. It would not have happened at all. But I want to see a little bit more continuation. And if it doesn't want to continue, it's good enough for them to reverse, fine. Because it is doing what it's supposed to do in the first place, which is to test this area. Now, there's a magnet here. If I'm going to be a buyer, I want to be buyer down below, around here, maybe here. But the bulls closed a good bar, so I have to admit that. Okay, so they did close a good bar, 10. So it's kind of a double bottom there. And they're trying to close above this midpoint and get up to here. If they fail, we could still come down. But if they start to close those bull bars, like I said, then I'm not interested in. At least I'm going to wait for a pullback here and then maybe sell with a double top. But that's not good. I don't like this at all now. Now, can we still come down here? Yes, we're testing a breakout point again. Like I said, if this is too low for bears to sell, they're going to sell the pullbacks. So I'm going to wait how bulls are going to do here. If they close the third bull bar after bar 11, then, and if they breach this double top, then we're going up. Then bears are going to be done. So this is bears' last chance to sell a pullback here, or somewhere around 44.25, 45.25 area. Limit order sellers could be there, but bull bars are now closing very strong. Now for the bear flag, you want to see EMA tested, right? So you want to see maybe a double top at the EMA or some kind of wedge at the EMA. Now that EMA is far from the price. We do have a gap, so we could still get some kind of resistance here. Those limit order sellers are trying to sell again. So I warned you about there could be machines might see a double top here and they might sell, and that's what they're trying to do. But depending on how bar 11 closes, we'll see if bears are willing to sell this pullback into that area I talked about earlier, 30, 29, and 28, that 2-point zone. It's a trading range, so it's a limit order market. There were two bear bars, right, and some kind of doji 10. So there were sellers there, sellers there, sellers at the high of this tight trading range, which I warned could make a double top. I like to see some kind of wedge now, maybe up, down, up, maybe just come down a little bit and then go back up. Or it's just going to sell into this magnet, which is not so far away, but still it's 19 points or so. Before then, we have the breakout test area. I'm sorry, after that we have the breakout test area, but I don't think we're going to get there quickly. But I am favoring bears because I think they have still room to run down. This area is still magnet. If I want to buy, I'm going to wait. I'm not really excited about buying here. Okay, so bears are kind of losing ground here. Now, if bulls do close a big bull bar, then that's it. Game over for bears. I don't like this bar, but still, it's a bear bar. Bar 10 did not get continuation, so I'm going to wait a little bit more for that third push down into this area. If we break the low of day, then we haven't seen the low of day yet, so I think we might see low of day a little bit further down, 9 points below, 10 points below. So we should keep selling this. If we do take out bar 10 low, that's third push. We're going to be in the third push. Again, I would like to see bears test this area. Okay, so I'm going to, what did I just, that was, just waiting to see how that bar is going to close. It's trying to make a higher low here. There's still enough time for bears to last second close that bar and turn it into a second entry short or low 2, low 1, low 2. I like to call the second entries first and second. We did make a new low here, so you can still start the count again. That would be first entry short. But that's just, you know, technicality. Just count from here, because that is still lower than that, so that makes us low 2, but they need to close this bar 12 low enough and strong bearish to sell. Bulls are still trying to prevent that from happening. But bears failed breakout yet again. Second time they failed. So the bulls are now trying to take over. Okay, so that's high 1 for them. They're trying to get a high 2. If they do close this bar on its side strongly bullish, they might be trying to get this setup, okay, right here, and then go further up. I'm going to try to find a better chart that has actually bear trend from the open with a gap. When there's gap, I don't like to buy right away in this mess. I like to see bulls failing and we go for another leg down. All right, so the bulls are trying to get the second entry long here, first entry long, and they're trying to get the second entry long. Bar 12 is also higher low now, or some kind of wedge here and higher low. You could say this is a truncated wedge and then a higher low, so they're trying to break that. So now I'm not very thrilled about what's happening here. Look what happened to the Globex bar. It literally closed at the Globex level and opened a new bar inside. So if you get out of your shorts, I don't blame you, because bulls are now playing into that failure at the supports. And they're probably going to push towards the 42.45 and might even test 42.45.50. Then I'm going to look for some kind of rejection again. Sellers could be at the 10 EMA because it's the first touch. Those who bought in a limit order market, one tick above 12, you can just calculate that real quickly. So 25, they entered around 41.50, and they made a 2 points and an extra tick to cover the exit order. So that was a 2-point scalp right there. That's good for the bulls. That's more than 1 point. But this area is still resisting. Now, if they do close this bar bullish, it could still continue and break that resistance right there. Could the bears be fading these highs? Yes, because remember, if this is too low to sell for them, they're going to look for pullbacks. So I don't see a strong bull bar, okay? Like, I don't see this kind of reversal happening, okay, to turn this into a small pullback bull trend or a V-shaped recovery like that. So I don't see it yet. So I'm hesitating to jump in and buy this, because there's a better place to buy down here, and then this area is attracting so those bears try to sell here, okay, they couldn't break out, they failed here, So the market bet against the bears. Okay, it started to buy underneath those bars. But because you're in a limit order market, you're also going to find sell orders right there, again, over there, again, above there. So we're in this little ping pong. It's going up, getting rejected. It's coming down, getting rejected. In this tight limit order market, until it turns into a stop order market, you're going to sell above things and scalp very quickly, and buy below things and scalp very quickly. You can't hold on to a position that it's going to start to swing right away. There are no good bull closes. In fact, bars are alternating. Bear bar, bull bar, bear bar, bull bar, bear bar. Now you got a bull bar. So it's very difficult to say that this is a small pullback bull trend. I don't have 2 consecutive bull bars, but the bull bars are closing better than the bear bars, so I have to also state that. But where are the bulls closing at least 2, 3 bull bars and then a bear bar pullback, and I'm buying again? I don't see that yet. So, and I don't see 2 consecutive bull closes inside the Globex low or the Globex range either, or above the Globex low line. So I can't really think that, yeah, buy here and hope for the best when we have a better buy area starting down below. Unless bulls start to show me good bull closes, then I will change my sentiment. Like, this is what I'm looking for, okay? Bull bars and a couple of small bear bars, and then bull bars, and then bull bars are closing a lot more stronger and taking out to prior highs. That's the kind of move I'm looking for bulls, and I don't see it yet. 42 is 40, 50, and 41 area is holding the price, and that's because of here. See, I pointed out to you that that area is kind of important. So bulls are looking for a head and shoulder pattern. They want to close above it and get to the EMA, but then you have 1 pullback, 2 pullback, and maybe a wedge, and that could be a bear flag. So the reason why we're stalling here, we're going above, come back down, it's because this area, I showed you earlier why it's important, right? So I'm also watching that area. I don't have it, you know, I don't like to trade on the ETH, but I do watch the ETH on a small chart. And you don't need 5 minutes, you can get that literally on the Globex chart. That Globex low is basically that area. Look what's happening right there. When you have this area left behind, untouched, I think that's why the bulls are struggling. But bears are not doing a great job either, so someone's going to win this fight shortly. So 12 bars passed, and actually 14 bars passed. We're going into the 18th bar range, begins with 16th bar, and we're either going to get reversal up to the EMA, or we're going to get a breakdown and we're going to come down to 42.2928 area and finish this job before going back up. Or we're just going to get a reversal, small pullback bull trend. It's hesitating, but the problem here for bulls is this leg, okay? It's kind of setting the stone for at least next couple of hours, okay, that we could sell with another leg down before going into a trading range or maybe going up. So when you have sell the close and sell at the open leg like this with, you know, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 5 bars and a continuation, that's going to, you know, slow down bulls. I mean, we did not see a V-shaped literally recovery right away, so we could get continuation before we reverse back up. Okay, so that's basically setting the tone for at least the next hour. And can the bears do this? Yes. So we have been going up. So we have failed, went up with double bottom. Double bottom came in here, but they failed around that area. Gaps maintained to the EMA by bears. So we get another leg, but then that's it. We get a nice wedge. So that could be, that's what I'm expecting because of this. But I need a bear bar closing on its low, and I don't see it. So it's tight trading range. There's a wedge here also, 1, pullback 2, pullback 3. Okay, bears need a bear body closing to activate that sell. So the 15 needs to close on its low to sell this wedge bear flag. Bulls failed to use this to their advantage right there. So I was not really excited about what happened with bar 12 and 13. So there you have it. They see a wedge bear flag. So I want to see these bears sell into 33, 32 at least. But first we need to close the bear bar. Tight trading range, limit order market buyers are always down here. They again entered right underneath bar 12 because of the range here. Are the bears failing now? Looks like they are. But I'm going to wait for that bar to close. And they're actually getting trapped now. So that bar 15 now trying to trap. If you sold us before waiting that bar to close, okay, so if you sold us before that bar closed, it was a nice bear bar, but they really needed to close it bearish to get that second entry. First entry, now the second entry. If they cannot close this now bearish, that's going to trap the bears who sold that bear bar that it looked like a bear bar earlier, but it's no longer a bear bar. So bulls can actually break above this and go higher. And now we could end up getting, in 1 minute, the first bull body close inside the Globex. There's a gap here, okay? There are probably sellers there. This is a back and forth, tight trading range. Could there be sellers waiting? Probably not. Above bar 13, because I don't see 2 bar. It already sold several times. It's trying to breach that because it's trying to go up to here. It's expanding triangle, but it's a form of a bear flag also. So it's very unclear. I'm just going to wait. I still favor the bears because I think they need to sell again. And any kind of expanding triangle like that can be a bear flag. We're still right at the slightly bullish, but we're at the midpoint of that PEX. But now we're getting small bull bars closing higher and trapping the bears. So do we now have a small pullback bull trend? We're way below the EMA. This is the bar 16. We still have a bear gap there. It's not that strong. You could also say, well, we'll just take this. Okay, fine. So that trap bar is now attracting bulls, and bears are looking for where this bar is going to close. If it cannot close a bull bar breaking above this range strong, they're not going to get out. But they are buying back their shorts because they're nervous, because they have failed to sell. So they might be looking for a deeper pullback before selling. Let me get rid of this. This is now a resistance, but you can see it. Testing the high of the trading range. Bulls want to break out and close a bar above that range high. Can we start the sell? Now, I need to wait for this bar, but that bar's high at the moment is lower than these highs. There's still 2 minutes left for the bar to close. And that can change in a second. If bulls can break this area, then they're going to try to get to the EMA. I think market is waiting for the 18th bar. If you want to learn how to trade this market with limit orders, you need to go watch the course videos starting with 50 D and E examples, I believe, D and E, or C and D. Can bears sell this again? They can. They can. Just waiting to see how this bar is going to close. Some of the bear momentum's lost here, but this could be just a pullback and sell again. It's not that strong. If you're trying to buy this, it's trying to become a small pullback bull trend. Okay, so we do have now stronger bull bars, single pullback bars. Now we have 3 bull bars by the close. One of them is a bear trap bar, which is good for the bulls, but it's just not that strong. Have we seen the low of the day? I don't think so. I think we will make a new low. I still do think that we're going to come down to, where was that? Let me measure. Yeah, to at least a 33, 42.33, possibly. And if we do break below 42.33, we will continue down to 30, 29, and 28, possibly even somewhere between 28 and 42.25 area buyers are there. So take that, that. Okay, so we could come down to here. If this is a wedge, lower high, bear flag at the 10 EMA, then that is the target right there. We need to break the low of 10 with a bear bar, then we will come down there. In fact, if we can break below it after bouncing a little bit, if there are no more bull bars, we could end up coming down to here. So these are my targets, but this is my first target. But I'm looking for bar 10 to be broken. You see now, do you understand why this area, I said 40, this area is important, and probably we're looking for a bear flag. I looked for that head and shoulders, but it's just too early to look for a inverse head and shoulder, when you have this kind of leg, you want to see continuation down. And I kept saying, I don't really see this as for bulls going up. Now I'm looking for bears to break that bar 10 low and not fail here. Okay, so they need to break this lower trend line and start to break down. Now, can they fail again? Oh yeah, they can. If they cannot break that bar 10 low, then we could fail. But a bar like that, if it closes right here, oh, we're going to break it. So I would like to see a bar like that. If it closes right here, oh, we're going to break it. So I would like to see bears take advantage of this and make a new low of the day, and then seek for buyers about 10 points below. I know it's very boring, but it is what it is. You know, you could have made a lot of money just scalping literally 1 point. Okay, so their machines will do that. They're gonna sell, okay, maybe here, grab a point. Sell there, grab a point, okay? Maybe sell there, grab a point. So they're gonna look to buy below these bars, perhaps scalp a point. So you have little, as Al would say, little guys holding a money bag, okay? Those 1 points add up. Apparently, I was actually listening to him one time. He talked about it, and in his videos, one webinar that I watched him, the podcast, talk about it, one of his friends traded 25 contracts, and all he was looking for 1 point, okay? But he would go for 1 or 2 points, but that's all he was looking for all day long. And that was his way of trading. That's about 2,000, 2,500 a day. Say after commissions, you make about $2,000 a day. That's 40 grand a month. That's pretty good income, isn't it? But, you know, who's got the 25 contracts to do that? I don't. I would never do that. Even with the micros, I will not do that. So I will measure, and I will look for conditions, and I will try to go for 5 to 10 points. So I'm looking for 10 points below. Like I said, buyers are probably there. So this is where I think we're going to come down to. Okay, so forget this. I'm just going to mark it. I'm going to get rid of it because I know you guys don't like fibs or any of that stuff. Fine. Now let me get rid of that. If you sell this, okay, right, that's a 5 point. You can take profit right there. And then have a runner for maybe 10 points right there and see if it actually gets there. Now, if you have runner, look for maybe 15 points right there, right? Or maybe even 20 points. So that's it. 5 point profit takers. It bounced a little bit. They're in a fight of trying to close a bar underneath bar 10. They're trying to close that bear bar because that means that's a breach. We end up coming down to here. So I like to see bears accelerate here and just finish the job because I'm getting tired of this. Buyers are probably, or these bears will probably take profit at 33.50 or 33.25. I like to see a continuation, or furthermore, right here I said this is always a magnet attracting, okay, but really some profit taking might happen right here. So I'm gonna scalp. It actually literally tagged me but didn't fill me. When this happens, but it should go down a little bit. I said we're going to get another low of day. I wasn't satisfied with what was happening there, so we now have a new low of day, but we should continue down a little bit. Okay, I just got filled, but this could continue down to 27.75, 28. I said 30, 29, and 28 area is where we could pull, and I still think that's the case. Now, 18 bar, okay? If we start to get more bear bars closing below the 18th bar, look where we are. This is going to bounce, so just watch out. We're going to bounce here, but we're also very close to the higher time frame magnet. Okay? So I like to see a little bit more continuation. Bears are trying to close that body below the bar 10, but can this fail? Can this completely fail and not sell? Well, if that bar fails, okay, to close, because we know there's a little trading range here that they've been buying, they're probably 2 points below, 5 points below. Buyers are there underneath. So if the machines are buying against this bear trend, which is, I think, is dumb, but because I think it's going to go down a little bit, but still they do it anyway because that's what they're programmed to do. As price goes up, they will be making money. So I shouldn't say dumb. I mean, that's a technique. You can use it. I just wouldn't do it because of the conditions, okay? We have a room to run down a little bit. So I think the buyers are still waiting at 42, 30, 29, and 28. But I did take profit here because I knew it was going to bounce. I said 33.50 or 25. They literally tested 33.25. Now, we need a bear body closing below 33.25 to continue. We have a bear bar 18. If this bar closes after pulling up, because this is a breakout, so this is a pullback, and we could get another bar, continue its downward movement to the area that I called earlier, 30, 29, and 28. Okay, I mean, I think I said it like 10 times. That doesn't mean that it's going to happen, but I think that's where we're going. So I'm flat. I wanted to take profit because I still need to, even though I think it's dumb, but it's the case. You know, this could fail. Now, how would this fail? But look where the bar 19 opened, okay, which is weird, right? It actually went up. Look, it did not open where it closed. It actually opened higher, okay? Now it's going higher. So it's a pullback. Bears need continuation bar. Bears don't need this failure. But those who actually bought here are making money. They just made money. But are they going to be making more money, or is this going to fail and come down? If I'm a bear, I would still continue to sell this, expect the bar closing below the bar 18 low into the buy zone, 28, 29, 30. So there's still room here, and the chart is ripe for bears, really. This is good. I just want to see another low. But bears are not in a rush to sell this, so I have to also pay attention to that. Now, when would I give up? Well, if the bar 18 doesn't get good bear closes, that's one thing. Now, this is a breakout pullback. They're testing the breakout level, which is bar 17 low. See, they're testing it right there. Okay, they just breached. It's an inside bar. So if it's an inside bar, could there be a wedge? Yes. 1 pullback, 2 pullback, and 3. Okay. There might be some buyers wanting to buy that and expecting a reversal, but we need a micro double bottom at least. If bar 19 doesn't close on its high and then it cannot open another bull buy to close bar and activates the buyer, it cannot do that, then that's too early to buy. At least try to buy with a limit order underneath that bar. But I think this is going to come down. So just wait for bar 19 to close. If it closes below 18, that's it. This is an 18 bar breakout. we're going to keep coming down to that zone I talked about. So I'm going to wait. There's still 1 minute, but it is an inside bar, and it's trying to be a good bull close. What now? Well, there you go. You're getting a follow through right now for bears. All they have to do, breach that bar 18 low and close that bar, and then we come down. We come down to 1 tick above, which is 28. This is where we're going. It's a good bear flag, and that's what I expected. And I kept saying, remember, this high is lower than these highs. So that makes it a lower high. Bear flag. Barely there, but it was there. That bar is a good follow through, but in order for it to be good follow through, it needs to close. You cannot judge a bar by its looks if it hasn't closed yet. Okay, so there's probably sellers here to continue this down. It might go up a little bit, but it's just gonna, it's not a gap down open, but it is now continuation. Come on, bears, sell this. It's probably gonna go up just a tad. Look for sellers there, right around here, maybe 33 or 1 tick below. It has a potential of selling about 3 points and 3/4 or 4 points. ATR is 415, so roll it down to 4. So it can sell 4 points. Follow through is okay, but it's not that. The upper wick is too big. You see that body of bar 19? It's still a breakout bar, continuation bar, breakout continuation. It's just that upper wick is too big. So there it is. It's pulling up. Where did we come down to? That's still not the target. That's still not the area. I still want at least 42.30 to be tested. At least, minimum. I still do think that there's more room to downside. All right, so we pulled back a little bit and looking for sellers. Now, we still have now 4.5 points. 72 is not 75, so you have to roll it down to 450. So 4 points and 2/4, it could still sell. There it is. All right, thank God. Thank God it's Friday. Come on, finish the job. Excellent, but it's still not what I want. I want minimum 42.30, and I would like this to come down to 29.28. I want that. And I'm going to get it because I'm right. I waited for this. And a little bit further down is my target, and we're going to bounce there. But magnet below, attracting. So now you might want to pay yourself right here, maybe at the 28, okay, or right around here. I would just wait until this comes down to 28. If you want to front run it 1 tick, that's good. But leave a runner, even though if it bounces, it still has potential to come down. Where was that? To here. Okay, so, but I need bear bars closing on their lows. Now, can I look for some kind of measured move? Yes, there's also a measured move here, right? So I'm going to take that. And that measured move target is 25.50. And if you're actually saying, I would recommend you to take that first here and then continuation to 25.50, because this is more of the profit taken will begin, and we would probably bounce there. I would not worry about this 18.25. Okay, again, remember, it's a fib level. I would not respect the fib levels as much as I would respect the measured move levels. So, and then another way to measure, again, underneath bar 18, that is 10-point scalpers are waiting right there, which aligns very well with the measured move. Basically, you're in the extension of this move down. You really want to get paid right there, because buyers are going to come in any minute now. But the magnet is right here, and we are only 7 points away from it, so it's not that bad. We're probably going to get that. But first things first, remember, you are here to pay yourself. So, I mean, I'm doing my best to, guys, keep you in this short, but you really still have to pay yourself. So 10 point is right there. And I did say that we were going to come down 4.5 points. Now ATR is 475. So if you actually sold the close or sold right there, that's more than 4.5. Covers your enter and exit orders with 2 ticks, and that gives you a good scalp. So that was a minimum anyway. You can go for 1 time to ATR, 1.5, or 2 times to ATR if you do see pressure. But all this is basically a trend move. Okay, so where do you think the price is actually going? Forget about the 10 point, forget about the measured move. Where do you think it's going? Who's going to tell me? Can you guys type up in, when you look at this entire move, since this is a good trend down and strong bear bars, where are we going? How many points down do you think the market is trying to reach? Richard says 42.17. No, Richard, you are wrong. No, 40 points. So look at that beautiful micro double top, right? So if I actually measure 40 points, this is where market is trying to go to, right there. And I'm going to mark that. Now, Richard said 17. He's actually right. I did say wrong because I wanted to read this first, plus I wanted to be right. This is my streaming. No, it can actually go to 17, because when market moves 40 points down, okay, so first of all, 10 points were there. I'm going to get rid of it, so they're scalping, okay? When market moves 40 points, chances are, if it's strongly closing bearish, it can go 5 to 10 extra points below that. So add or subtract 5, that brings us to Fibonacci level is 1825, but Richard's level is 17. So 17 is actually correct, but that would be extension of bears, okay, overshooting. But first things first, I said pay yourself, please, and I pointed out that 10-point low, buyers are probably waiting, right? 2 point below, they were there, we bounced, but no bull bars closing. So those bulls who bought underneath here, that I call dumb, they weren't dumb so much. They got what they got, but once they see that there are no bull bars or closing, market is probably going to continue down. So they try 5 points, 10 points, right? So they're taking scalping as they sell, but they're also looking for, what if we buy here? Is this low enough? They're scaling in. And the measured move was right around that area. So it was good. But I think I'm going to get rid of this now. This, and I'm going to get rid of this, because these are mission accomplished. I think we're going to drift down a little bit more if we don't fail here, because it's so close. It's a big ticket item. And then the magnet is also right around there. So, and then if we test the magnet, most likely we will test underneath. So 1825 and then to Richard's target right there. I mean, it's just so close to one another, we could just test all of it. But really, the point I'm trying to make, this is a good hard trend, and it's almost trying to make that 40 point, which is great. Right now, right here, we're testing my area 28.2930. We just dipped a little bit further due to that fib level, which now bears basically respecting everything at this point. But you needed to take that profit because it was going to bounce, and I did say it's going to bounce. So hopefully you paid yourself. So this is good. It's fun. It's fun Friday. We're probably going to get another swing. Since today is Friday, we can get swings in both ways. All right, let's see. Where's this going? It's right now finding support, and I'm going to get rid of this. But it can continue to come down to this area. We've look at the angle of the EMAs. That's another thing. So when I see an angle like this, right, it's a steep angle. It's going with the price. We have a nice, we had a first flag, right? We have a spike, another small flag, so that's 2, and the actual flag. But now we're getting a little bit exhausted here. Bears are probably going to try to get another flag and then come down. So I'm going to look for a double top or wedge top, something. Okay, wedge tops can be double tops. What does that mean? Well, it is actually a wedge top, but really the last 2 pushes above the EMA, some computers look at that as a double top above the EMA. That's a valid bear flag. So if we do finally close this gap, I want you guys to also be aware when we get to the EMA, there will be instant selling because it's the 20 bar gap to the EMA. We're already more than 20 bars. We might end up getting a 10 bars, 2 legs up to EMA, but I don't see it just yet. We still have a target down there, and we're way too close. We're testing 5 tick above here. If those who actually bought above 21, they scalped 4 ticks, an extra tick to cover their exit order. So everybody got filled, but anybody who bought above it, the machines, all they could get was a 1-point scalp. So they're testing the waters to see if they can get more and pushed us with 10 bars, minimum 2 legs to the EMA. If the bears take out that low, then that's it. They can't. They're going to continue to sell. 42.22 is still the target. Come on, people, look alive. Sleeping over there. It is kind of boring because it's not really, you know, I want it to be a little bit faster. But look at the ATR. It's went down, right? So it's only 4 points and 3/4. It's still healthy, right? It's above 3, so it's healthy. It gives you enough time. You know, it's not that risky to trade when ATR is 4, 4.5. If it gets above 5, you're risking 5 points and more, basically. But you can manage good scalps. You know, anytime ATR is above 3, that's good scalp. You know, you could just sell above things and scalp a little bit. It gives you more than 2 points to scalp, which is great. I mean, we've been having some 10-point, 20-point bars for some time. Volatility came down a little bit, if you guys have noticed, last week. But it is boring, I have to admit. Now, bulls want obviously some kind of small pullback bull trend to begin, I generally start to look for three bull bars closing on their highs and stacking. That would be the first sign I would be interested. But I know that, we've been making these bear flags and keeping this gap open. We are due to go back and test the EMA, but we do have leftover targets here. I still want to see bears succeed, come down, push one more time. Now, here's the thing. This push could happen still, but we would just go up and then come down, because basically, you're trying to jump over, okay, a area, you're on top of the mountain, you're not going to, oh, let me jump. No, you will die. You will fall. So you have to back up, get some, okay, traction, energy, and then jump. So it's like pulling back before finishing the entire job is essential for bears, right? Because it's been selling. Look at this bar, right? It's another breakout bar. Didn't get continuation, okay, after this breakdown. But really what you're getting here is take profit from the measured move. That's one. And second, bears need a pullback to get back down again one more time. So just be patient. That's why these are all take profit bars. Now I'm looking for a minimum 3 bull bars closing on their highs. I've got 2, 21 and 22. Where is the third bar? If they do get the third bar, then bulls are probably going to try to get that pullback and second leg up, but they could still get a double top there and then come back down. Or 10 bars to EMA if I see bull pressure building, but I don't see it, not yet. Bars to EMA if I see bull pressure building, but I don't see it, not yet. So I still do think that 21.75, that area is still target. These, I love the Friday gifts. My ATR setting is, I'm looking at 4 bars, but you can use up to 6. Period can be 6, but don't go any further than that, any more than that. It's not necessary. Okay. So here is another example. Okay, so check this out right here. Right, so the bull trap, lower high, bear flag. Now we sold a little bit better. Okay, they didn't, but you see that 2 legs up to EMA and a double top there, or wedge, bear flag 1, pullback 2, pullback 3, and a double top and a reversal back down. See that, right? Higher high, major trend reversal. The last push, we are now breaking below that bar's range. Retest and come down, and we make a wedge, and then we go into end of day. So could that be us? But look at the bars. Look how strong the bars are. We don't have that yet. I need to see the third bull bar. I don't see it. But we will go up. Now, I'm just not ready yet. Okay, so bears did horrible there. Bulls did, that's the minimum we can do. We couldn't get the bull bar closed, but we did not allow that bar to close bearish either. So it's doji, but the problem is it's a doji. It's not a bull bar. So, and it also could, if you look at it, look where it opened. It opened down here. It didn't open right at the close of bar 22. So it's not really bullish either. So I think the bears are going to try to finish the job here. So bulls want some kind of double bottom, okay, with bar 21 low. Bears want, we're not ready to let go until we see the 3 push wedge. So depending on how you're counting, this is still the target and the magnet. Oh no, I deleted my. Now, 2 bull bars closing on their highs, okay, and a doji. What does that mean? If you wanted to trade this, basically you would put somewhere here a buy order, and you would get filled, and you would scalp 1 or 2 points minimum, and then maybe have a runner to see if it's going to go further up. That would be the entering with limit order. Remember the rules, right? So I would look for good 2-bar bull closes and a doji. I'm going to buy under it, okay? And that's exactly what the limit order buyers did there, because they do see, okay, a tight trading range, 4-bar, 3-bar, whatever, and that's where the ATR comes in handy. It's telling you ATR is 4. So if you actually bought 1 tick below that, say you entered right there, you're looking for a 4-point scalp, right? First you go half the ATR, you grab that 2-point, and your runner is trying to get to the 4-point. ATR says 412. If you're going for 4, you also have to allow 1 tick to close. So that would be 375. That's a good scalp. Let's see if they can make it. They ended up buying down here, but you positioned 1 tick under, so that's 50.25. Yep. So you're trying to get to 3 points and a 3/4. 42.31. You're trying to scalp, but you already scalped 2 points. So this is your runner at this point. Now ATR goes up. It says 437. Now you can go to 4-point instead. I'm not going for 425 because I'm using the last tick to exit out. And look where they just tested and came down. 4 points. But it's probably going to go, it has to go 1 tick above. But still, you made money. That's it. It went above, so now you made full 4 points. Now it's going 4.5. So you're too late to do that. You're already out of your position. But hey, you scalped. Okay, so that was the limit order entry and quick scalp with a runner. It's also the second entry long for bulls now, and the bears are failing here. First entry above 21 and the second entry above the doji. I don't like to buy above dojis, and that's why I said this is a limit order market. Better to buy down here. You have a more potential to make money. L's daily chart, he uses SMAs. He uses 20, 50, 100, 150, and 200. So you're missing 2 in there. Okay, so we pulled back 2 legs, but only 5 bars. One of them is a doji, so if you don't count the doji. Is this good enough for bears to try to sell? I think they might push a little bit further higher. Can we give in here and not come down here? I doubt it. Okay, because we now have 25 bar gap to the EMA. the first touch will sell, and then we're probably going to come back down. We might even come back down like that and make a wedge and then start to go up. That would be nice. Bar 24 is also a outside up bar and a trap bull bar. It trapped the bears, so they got what they needed. Limit order sellers right there. If this bar closes, so we have an outside, we have an inside outside. If this bar 25 becomes an outside, you have OO, and that's going to break out. Okay, especially, no, I'm not a candlestick pattern person. I don't like using those, but there's one that I look for, inside up failure. Okay, 3 or 4 bars. One of them is a doji. And then you get this big bear bar close, especially if we do breach those lows, we are going to sell. So bears need to close the bar 25 below the low of bar 24 to become the second OO to break out and sell further. And that would bring us down to my targets. But we don't know yet. So I'm speculating. I'm waiting for this bar to close the way I want it to be closed. If it doesn't, that's a different story. So bulls made 2 legs. Bar 23 separated the leg. Okay, leg 1 and leg 2 at the 10 EMA. We sold. We've been selling. Look, if you're trading with the 10 EMA, 20 EMA combo, you sold there. You can sell underneath that. You scalp, right? Now we go up to the EMA. Limit order sellers are waiting. You can sell again. You scalp a couple of points and see if we can breach those lows. Then you can sell that bear close again. If you're using this, or if you're using 2-minute chart, okay, 10 EMA, right? So we have a nice close. It's got a lower wick. I don't like it. When I see a lower wick, I try to sell these close instead of selling with a sell stop order. That's a big lower wick, but sell stop orders activated anyway. You can sell underneath 44. It's probably going to come down, right? Now, if you do sell this, you might want to take profit because this is the 3rd bear bar you're selling underneath with a sell stop. We're getting ready to go up, okay? So it does sell, and then we go up. But as soon as it gets there, it's going to sell again. In fact, it's a breakout test. Bar 49 breaks the 48, and you got a double top wedge bear flag, and they're trying to sell it yet again. Okay? Now, I would not buy any bull closes above the 20 EMA just yet, because as long as the 10 EMA is below the 20 EMA, anytime you close, that's a premature buying with a stop order above it, because you are in a trading range. Chances are sellers are waiting there, and it's going to probably come down. Okay? All right, so we now have a small pullback bull trend started. Okay? It's still trying to make traction here. We've got, if we don't count the doji, well, count the doji, doesn't matter. So we have 2 bull bars, pullback, limit order buy, outside up, another pullback bar, right? And I don't know what this bar is going to be. If it closes bullish, that's great. I would look for another bull bar. That would definitely 100% tell us that we are in a small pullback bull trend, but I think it's still too early. We left behind a major target here, okay? I'm not happy about it, and these bears are not happy about it. Those bears who actually sold bar 20 are not happy about it, right? So what are they going to do? Well, they're going to scale in, they're going to sell, right? They're going to probably sell here, sell there. Maybe if this suddenly goes up here, they're going to even sell there to break even. But they look at these leg, okay, this leg 1 and leg 2 is just a counter trend, and the market is probably going to come down here. Now, you don't have 2 bars, consecutive 2 bars. 23 is not a bull bar. It's a doji. 24 is a good bar, but where's the second bar if you wanted to buy underneath this doji, okay, with a limit order? The only way that I would become a limit order buyer underneath here would be based upon the trading range, and this being the trading range low, not the 2 bar and a doji and buy below. So I probably wouldn't buy here, because if the bears come down here, they would sell. But look what happened. That combo, I said, I'm not a big fan of these fancy, okay, this is for, this actually, I'm sorry, this will be the bear bars, and this would be a bull bar, another bull bar, and it would go up. I'm not a big fan of those. The one that I explained, it actually failed. We did not get a second outside up bar 25. So the bears totally failed here. So the bulls are now taking and going up. And now we're definitely in a small pullback bull trend, early stages of small pullback bull trend. We're still trying to make that 10 bars, 2 legs up to the EMA. So now those who sold these bears are definitely getting a lot more disappointed. And some are actually exited out here, okay? And some will start to take, maybe cover their shorts, maybe closer to the EMA, or they're going to hold and they're going to sell at the EMA, and somewhere in the 50% they're going to try to break even. I don't like doing that, okay? I'll do it with the micros, but I don't like doing that with E-mini. Now, bulls need to close that body above bar 25 to keep going higher. This bears are looking for a potential double top there and there, so they can sell with limit order. They're waiting with their limit order sells to bring it down so they can get a better fill and cover their shorts with either no loss or small loss. See, bar 26 closed high. Bulls need to keep pushing this. Let me see where they can push. This can go up to 35, 42.35, or 1 tick below, which is where we would get a pullback possibly. Or we're just going to continue to go up to the EMA because we are due to test the EMA, but chances are sellers are waiting there. So this is a small pullback bull trend, early stages, or you could say 10 bars, 2 legs to EMA. Bad for the bears because they could not get that second outside down, and they ended up getting that bar and done. I mean, look what happened here. I'm going to get rid of these. You can have it on your charts. We could still sell and finish that job, and we'll probably be able. I'm just going to leave this 50% pullback because that's really what you should be paying attention. Now, why is this just sell off important level? Because if you take a look at the daily chart, there are some stuck sellers here. Okay, so they automatically sold, thinking this was going to bounce because it's testing certain areas, highs. So if those bears are stuck, they want to get out, okay, as this price comes down. They waited this long, so they're hoping, you know, eventually the price is going to come down and close the week, or I'm sorry, close the day and the week a little bit, you know, more bearish, and then take that out so that they can get out before the, you know, week and the day closes. So this pullback is probably going to sell because it's the first touch to EMA after 20-something bars. What is it, 27, 29, 30, sometime around 30, 32. Even if we just go up a little bit, I think the sellers are waiting there. And we could end up selling once again. That would give us a 3-push wedge. Selling is not that strong. Yes, we have a nice sell, but we really didn't get this, okay? Big sell bar, another big sell bar, maybe a small doji, but another big impulsive bar. We did not get that. We get a pause and a 1 bar, and then we got this nonsense. Okay, so now we have a leg, but even after that pause, bar 19, what's up with this lonely bar? Yes, it's nice, but where is the continuation, another bear bar? So yes, there is a bear trend, but it really isn't that exciting, okay? So that tells me this is trying to morph into some kind of trading range. And here's the thing, today being the Friday, I think we're going to come down, definitely. We might make that wedge, okay, and then go back again, come back and maybe make a higher low double bottom. Then I'm going to look for maybe a reversal. And we could get a bull trend, who knows? But I'm still going to keep my eye on this level and see what happens at the EMA. These guys are going to get exhausted. Yes, they're trying to be small pullback bull trend around 11:30, okay, and then get a couple of hours of nice move. Now, if that happens, if we go up here, sell a little bit, and then go up, what do you think we're going to be doing here? Inverse head and shoulders, right? I mean, my time is about to be done in 15 minutes, so I'm trying to show you guys that. I'm kicked out. Oh, there goes Al. Okay, I'm going to go quiet.
Okay, I want to say a few things. We had a bear trend from the open. One of my rules, one of my entries is if there are consecutive bear bars, one of them big and closing near its low, it could be the first or the second. It's sell the close or sell the low. The bulls had, I would not buy above that. I did buy above this. I was disappointed by this and I got out. But this was a credible high 2 bottom after a sell climax. Sometimes after you get a sell climax, and sometimes there's a couple legs down, you'll rally for the remainder of the day. A lot of times it'll be a weak rally like yesterday. This is not yesterday, but you get a big sell climax and then the market just kind of drifts up all day. And that's what the bulls were trying to do here, and they failed. We got another leg down. And something really important happened here. Some bulls bought the 10 low, thinking it's a tight trading range, and they were confident one of two things would happen. There would be buyers below 10 and would reverse up, or they could buy more lower, and they'd get out break even right here. So they bought that 10 low. They bought more 5 or 10 points lower. They could not buy 10 points lower. To me, that was really interesting, that it had to fall 41 ticks below 10 for the bulls to be able to add on 10 points lower. And it did not get 41 ticks below. So that told me that the bulls were becoming more aggressive. The bears were becoming less confident. And then bulls either bought above that or above that. They held long here, and they thought we'd come back above this low, and we did right here. That tail is caused by the bulls who bought here exiting. So they bought here, they bought more 5 points lower. They could get out break even on their first entry, and they get out there. This is not quite a ledge, but that's where we're headed. A ledge, the definition that I created is 4 bars with identical highs. As the E-mini gets bigger, it used to be 100, now it's 4,000. As it gets bigger, and there are more ticks in the day, ledges will be less perfect. Just like on the daily chart, you'll never see a ledge with 4 bars with identical highs. It's almost impossible to get that because each day has, a whole bunch of ticks, and it's hard to get all of them lined up. This is probably going to be a sell climax on the open, a bear trend from the open, and then a trading range. When you have a ledge, the market typically goes above the top of the ledge, so we're probably going above that line, and then it typically pulls back below the ledge. The market thought this was a fair price. It's right in the middle of the day's range, and so we may go, I think we're going above the ledge, right? I'm pretty sure we are. But then I suspect we'll pull back and go sideways more, and the bulls will hope to get a higher low major trend reversal, so left shoulder, head, and right shoulder. And they'd like to get back to the open of the week. I said a few times earlier this week and last week that I thought this week would have a bear body on the weekly chart because we had just gone up too far, too fast. Also, we got to that really critical point. This is the weekly chart. On the daily chart, that was the triple top. And I said we'd get there, and we went a little bit above it. If we do reverse here, a 50% retracement is here, and it's hard to tell, but that's right around the 4,000 big round number. We're going down to the 4,000 big round number, right? Now, I don't know the path that we get, but I've talked about that many times as such an important price from last year. And back here last year, we gapped up around 4,000, and we broke below it again, and it reversed strongly above it. I think we're going to test it at least one more time. I don't know that this is the end of the move up. As I said, I think we're going to get to that bear trend line, and we can get there by going sideways or by going down. It would be unlikely for the market to go straight down when the bull trend looks like this. So this is probably still a minor reversal, and we'll probably go sideways more, and we'll probably go above that bear trend line and then down to 4,000 sometime in the next month or so. The bears are hoping we just go straight down. I think it's more likely we'll get to that trend line. We got so close to it that we probably have to get there before we can go the other way down. A whole bunch of bull bars. We got a little pullback here, but this is where we're headed. A couple other things. Whenever you have a bear trend from the open, 20% of the time it lasts all day, 20% of the time it reverses, and 60% of the time it forms a trading range. And today is probably going to be a trading range. The bears are not going to get this. It's not going to be a bear trend all day because we have to get up to that ledge, and if we get up to that ledge, it's not going to be much of a bear trend. So we're probably not going to get this. The bulls are hoping we get this. I don't think we'll get that. I think this is most likely. I think the week will close below the open. I think we'll have a bear body on the weekly chart. Here we're testing the moving average, a 20 gap bar sell, but too many bull bars and too tight a channel. So most bears are not going to sell below 28. And most bulls, if they bought, they're buying the first reversal up. The first reversal up is probably minor, and therefore the bulls should be scalping, either 5 points or 10 points above 22. And did not quite get 10 points. So the bulls were hoping to get out 10 points. Some of them are now trying to get out 5 points. So it's unclear. The bears want to get down here. I'll talk about that now. This is a 50% pullback from the entire bear trend. Okay, so we have on the daily chart here, we have a bear trend, and here's 50%. We broke above 50%, and now we're pulling back. We're just very close to 50%, and we're very close to this breakout point. So we may come down a little bit more over the next week or so, but I still think we're probably going to get to that bear trend line before we get down to 4,000. And a 50% retracement of this rally is almost exactly 4,000. So that's another magnet down here. So I think we're going up here. I think we're going down here. I think we'll go there first. We might go here first. If we go here, I think we'll form a higher low. Head and shoulders bottom, left shoulder, head, and right shoulder. So somewhere in here, I think the bulls will buy. They will not wait for a new low. You know, people on television keep talking about this whole rally as a bear rally, and that we're going to go below the June low. I think there's a 40% chance they're right. I think 60% chance they're wrong. One other thing that occurred to me today, I want to put up this, I'll put up a daily chart. And every now and then people ask me about Bitcoin, and I say it doesn't make sense to trade Bitcoin. There's a real risk of it just going out of existence because of something that some government in the United States, Europe, or China could do. And then, so you got more risk to the downside. And then here's Bitcoin. And I said it's very similar to stocks. And I'll put up the ARK, Kathy Woods' ETF. Okay, take a look at the Bitcoin chart, right? This is the Bitcoin chart. Now I'm going to turn it into, I'm going to now put up an ARK chart. Now they look like the same thing, right? So here's ARK, which is a bunch of tech stocks from Kathy Woods, risky tech stocks, and I'll put back Bitcoin. Here's Bitcoin, and here's ARK. Okay, basically the same pattern: a bounce here, slow rally here, and then Bitcoin, a bounce here, slow rally here. So if I'm choosing between trading Bitcoin and trading ARK, I'm going to trade ARK. Can't ARK go down to zero as well? No, ARK is a fund. It's an ETF composed of a whole bunch of stocks, and it's very unlikely that they're all going to go to zero. Well, one government change could send Bitcoin to zero in just a matter of days. Most of you probably were not trading back when Bear Stearns collapsed and Shearson Lehman collapsed, but it happened really fast in just a matter of days. So here we got a 20 gap bar sell, a low 2 here, a lower high double top here, but a tight bull channel and a lot of bull bars and a magnet here. So I think this will be a minor reversal. Would I buy that low? I would not buy it. It's a bear bar closing near its low at the moving average and a bear trend and a low 2. So, but I did not sell it. I suspect that, if we go down, it'll be for a few bars and we'll form a higher low and then try to get a second leg up. That 50% pullback, right now, I think we'll probably get there today. If we do not get there today, I think we'll get there early next week. Remember, this is a 50% retracement of the bear trend on the daily chart. So here's the bear trend. Here's the start of it. Here's the end of it. And here's 50%. Okay. And we're just about there. And I think, it's such an important number. I think we're going to oscillate around 50%, maybe for a few weeks. So I think we're going below it. If not today, then soon. And I think we're going to get here in the next few weeks. I think we're going to get here probably by the end of September. It could happen quickly, but we may have to go here first. So I think we're going up. I think we're going down. I don't know which order. That's trading range behavior. We're in the middle of a bear trend with a sharp reversal up. So big down, big up, trading range behavior. So it looks like we're going to be sideways around this area, probably for several weeks. And for today, the bears are hoping we get another leg down, but this is a good enough reversal up. This is a lot of neutral trading. This is bullish trading for 8 bars or so. It reduces the chances that we're going to continue down. Also, bulls who bought that low and bought more 5 points lower made money, and the bulls who wanted to buy 10 points lower could not. There were too many bulls buying. So I don't think we're going to go much lower. And it's possible we can reverse the entire day and get back to the open of the week. But I think the weekly chart is overdone. We've had 4 consecutive bull bars. I think we're going to get a bear bar. So I think the week will close below the open. So if we're not going here and we're not going here. We may go a little bit below this low. I don't think this is going to be. I don't think it's going to continue as a bear channel today. And I think there'll be buyers below here. And I think there'll be buyers here. So I think it's going to be a lot of trading range trading. Bulls will buy here. They'll buy here. And bears, they'll sell around here, maybe a little bit higher, maybe a 50% retracement. Right now, I think we're always in long, even though we're below the moving average. And if I were still long, I scalped out. If I were still long, I would have gotten out below 29, a 20 gap bar sell, a low 2 at the moving average, a lower high, and possibly a bear channel. But too many bull bars closing near their highs. We've got 6 decent bull bars here. I would sell a second reversal down, not a first. We would have to go sideways and get a second reversal down. I talked about that yesterday, second reversals. Here's a first, here's a second, here's a first, here's a second. So if you're selling in a bull trend, or even in a trading range, it's always better to wait for seconds. And second reversal up 1 and 2. Okay, that's all I wanted to say. I think we're going to be mostly in a trading range. The bears hope the bear channel will continue, but I think there'll be buyers around here and around here. So I don't think we're going a lot lower. A lot of tight trading range trading here, a pretty good rally here. Unlikely this is going to be a big bear day. And I think the week is going to have a bear body. So I think we're not going to get up there. So if we're not going up here and we're not going down here, then we're stuck in this area probably for the remainder of the day. Okay, so I'm going to exit, and Rose, you can start talking again. Thank you.
Thank you, Al. Have a good weekend.
Okay, you too.
Okay. All right, here we go, restored. So while Al was talking, I marked the area, my sell zone area, because we have 1, 2, 3, 4. Let me activate my point. Okay, so we have 1, 2, 3, 4 bear bars. Okay, impulsive selling, strong. I marked it, and I said it earlier before Al came in, even a while back. This area is what I'm interested in, but because it's a 20 bar gap, 20 plus bars gap at this point, 28. Remember, I said sometime around 30th bar, you know, we might tag the EMA, and I'm going to look to sell there. But I'm also looking for some kind of wedge bear flag to sell. So everything's lining up well. Now, Al's argument is that there is a 1, 2, 3, maybe 4, although I'm not sure, I think the bar 16 is, yep, nope, sorry. There's actually 2 bar. I don't know how it looks like on his data, but my data provider only showing me 2 bars. But he does see this as a ledge, which is fine because this area is a sell zone. We're eventually going to go there, okay? But obviously, I'm not going to buy this. Everybody knows, machines know that first touch will sell the EMA, and that's what I did. In fact, I literally, at the close, I just jumped in with a market order, grabbed 2 points, and then I have a runner now. It's still running, but somewhere around here, maybe down here, bar 26, I am going to scalp out. I'm going to get out. I'm just waiting. Oh, come on, one more tick. One more tick. Oh, let me be behind, but I'm waiting to fill right there. Now, this was that pullback and a micro double top, and there's also a wedge here. 1 pullback, 2 pullback, 3, and a double top. You see, you could have also sold that because it's a 2 bar reversal. The bear bar is really strong close, and chances are sellers are there. And that's why I played into that, and I still haven't gotten filled yet for my runner, and I might just hit close and take what I came here for. But anyway, not necessarily. I mean, from what I have seen, with the 20 bar gap. Sometimes we even get only one single bar just touching the EMA and then just comes down. I do look for 1 or 2 bars either closing above or breaching above. 3 is better, and then sell. That's fine too. But most of the time, high probability, you're going to get a good scalp there. Okay, so I've decided to take my money. I'm done. I didn't care for that extra tick. So I'm out. And why am I out? Well, ATR is only 4, and if you actually sold here, that's just about 4, okay? But because it closed up here, it didn't come all the way down. If you just filled right at the close, you still made 4 points, okay? So I know that there are buyers, limit order buyers here, limit order buyers under there. There is a congestion area, so I thought if I just put a buy order there and exit, it just came one tick closer. Sometimes it doesn't really feel you. You just got to make a decision, and you know what? Take what you can, because you made a decision, you committed the sell, you scalped, and your runner is not going to give you that extra tick. There's no need to linger in the position that when you know there are limit order buyers are waiting here and it's going to bounce. So just take the money. If ATR is 4 and you're trying to get 5 points, you may not get that 5 points. Just scalp out. It's your money, right? Until it goes into your account. Anyway, so I'm sorry, I said it wrong. It's your money until you claim it. If you leave it in the market, it's no longer your money. It's still broker's money because you're still in the trade. So 3 bear bars. Can we have another leg down? Possible. Those are closing really nice. Now 2 of the bars, last 2, one of them closed even stronger. If we do go up, limit order sellers are probably there wanting to sell again. We have left a magnet, 2 magnets below the 40 point and what Al talked about. And can we still sell into it? It's possible, yes. There is a could take that. We could still go up and sell from there, or you can measure it like this. I wouldn't measure it like that, but this. We might sell towards here. If we're going to give up, okay, still we're making possibly a trading range, right? We could end up coming down to here. There's a trading range lows, right? And then we can reverse there instead of breaching below that midpoint. Yeah, those bears, I was saying the same thing, and look what Brad actually wrote with a chart. He just explained what I was earlier explaining. Remember what I said? Those bears who sold, get rid of this, those bears who sold at 20, they're disappointed. They got disappointed with this outside up bar. They got disappointed even more with this, so they started to cover some of their shorts. But those who are still stuck here, I said, I don't know if you remember, but they're going to try to look to sell again. Where are they going to sell? Well, it could be EMA. EMA would be a good area to sell. But many will sell at the high. They will start to sell at the high of that bar. Why? Because there are 2 bars, okay? So limit order buyer sellers are there. And he actually measured it and put a chart. Take a look at his break even right there. So, but if you actually measure like this, so say you sold here and then you sold right at the EMA, okay? Not up here, not down here, but you just place a sell order right there. This is where you exit out. Bar 30 comes in. Look at that. Look at that accuracy to the tick, and then bounces. And then it sells more and even takes out more bears. So out of the market and traps them out. So they are now broke even. But really, the bears are hoping the market is going to come down to their entry price so that they can make money. But many will exit out of there. So thank you, Brad, for putting that. I really like that. I'm going to put a big thumbs up. It's a good exercise. Oh, no. Really? Well, I did say that you can sell at the 20 EMA, but then you argued my point there too with 80%, 90% thing. So I hope you didn't miss your chance to sell there because you would have trapped out by now. Anyway, I hope you can get out soon. No, I didn't. I had a limit order literally sitting at the EMA, and then I was prepared to sell a little bit more up here because Elle talked about that possible ledge, but really I was into that. I'm going to say it's supply zone. Okay, so it's a sell zone right there. But, you know, they filled me and I was out a couple of points. I was not stuck down here, so that was a good thing. I was just looking to sell into this technique, and it worked out just fine. My exit order was there, but I was too impatient, so it didn't fill me with bar 31. It teased me, so I took quickly, but then it came down and filled me, and that's what I get for being impatient. But either way, it's now limit order buys are there. But you got 4 bear bars, okay? So you have a trading range here. You got 4 bear bars. We have, I was talking about earlier, possible head and shoulders, inverse head and shoulders. Here's my problem with the situation now. We're way below that. That should not have happened. So I no longer care for this head and shoulders. Basically, we are, you can take the whole thing like this. I'm going to take this. So we have a channel here. If you actually divide this, that's the half. See, once we get above it, we retest and we go. Once we test it and go up, because we did not break below the half of that. I mean, I don't put them in there, but I always see those invisible 50% in the upper channel and a lower channel, and I always look for those bounces. You can add them to your channel. I think it's just too many lines. But the reason why we're bouncing there, because here, I'll do it nicely. That's the 50%, okay? Just about right there. And if you look at it, right, that's the 50% for bulls, right? Closed, came back and retest, and then finally broke above inside the upper, but test the upper boundary, came back here, but did not break or closed a bear bar, and then bounced from there. So if you're never sure what's going on there, use this exercise and you'll know why it's bouncing there, because there's a channel. All right, so now we have second test of the EMA, but it is a strong bull bar. But it's possible that we could still get rejected from there, okay? Now, we're not always in long bulls yet. Bulls need to close a bar above it and then maybe open and have another bar with 80% of it above the EMA closing in order to get up to this area and then the ledge that L. Brooks identified for you. It's a 2-bar ledge. I didn't call it a ledge because I didn't see it. It was only 2 bars. So I was like, I don't know, is this a ledge? It does look like a ledge, but I like 3 bars identical. We don't really get the 4 bars. It's generally rare, but it happens. I think towards like the end of the year we get those a lot. Sometimes you get 2, and then you get a bar like this, and then you get another bar, 3 identical. That's a good one. Maybe that's what he had. I didn't really pay attention. I was trying to make coffee. But so I'm waiting to see what the bulls are going to do here. Now, for a strong bear flag, right, we need maybe another push and a double top, maybe 1, 2, 3 push wedge bear flag. So bulls are pushing. We could end up testing a little bit higher, like 42.38.50. Could this be still inverse head and shoulder, a diagonal one with a maybe neckline right there? So if we do break that neckline, we can still go up. So that would be the neckline right here. Okay. So the bulls are trying to break that because they're trying to come in here. But we did not close. Bar 33 failed to close above the EMA. Now everybody is watching bar 34 and what it will do. Don't discount the falling neckline. Bulls are still pushing. They see also this as a neckline. Okay, so they're trying to reach there and close a bar or close near and then break out and get to the 42 area, which is the sell zone, which is right around here inside. Okay. And then I'm going to look to sell there if I can. We did form a trading range. But really the goal is to get to this area. So we will probably going to break above these levels. So I'm going to get rid of them there. You got the point. This is where we're trying to go right here. It's resistance here though, so be careful. Sellers were there above bar 18. They sold it. Bulls are trying to reach, make that wedge. Top. Can this be a double top bear flag? Possible, yes. We talked about that, right? We talked about how many times the bear sold. 1, 2, 3, and this is probably, they're going to try to sell again because we're now in some kind of trading range. All right, so we do have bar 34, really good close. I said about 80% of its body needs to be above the EMA, and it is, right? So, and then the next bar open, so bulls are trying to become always in long. So we should push towards above the bar 28 high, okay? And if we do close a bull body there, we could still continue to go up into that sell zone. But in order to get a double top, you need a good bear bar or some kind of strong bear bar closing with micro double top. I don't see it. So I think this is trying to become a wedge. So we need to push further high. It's 42, 41.50, 42, 42 to 42, 43 area. is where the bulls are trying to get to. Now, why? Okay, so if you actually bought earlier, okay, above the bar 33, thinking, oh yeah, I can buy this because it's the 1020 EMA, play. It's not. 10 EMA is not above the 20 EMA. That's one thing. The bar 33 did not close above the EMA, so you can't really buy. If you bought it, you better be quick to take profit because you're buying into that resistance and you're not going to go further. So you have a very small window. Basically, you're just getting lucky here. That's all there is to it. So this is not the way to trade that. Okay? But, and it's too big. So if you actually bought here, say high 1, maybe high 2, high 3, right? Can we get a high 4? We could. 2 bars, limit order buyers may buy below this bear bar if it closes as doji, bar 35. Okay, so, and they could just go further up. And 34 and 33 are really good bull closes. That would give us a limit order buy opportunity if the next bar comes down and fills and goes, because it is a trading range, although there are some voids in between, so that kind of helps with the stop order entries regardless. That's when I know I can get away with stop order entries if there are, these void areas, but technically it's still a limit order market. So we do have the double top, but it's not really bearish for me to consider this as a valid bear flag. I don't want to sell against 43 and 44. I'm sorry, 33 and 34. So we talked about this, right? And Al also said that I don't think we're going to be getting a big bull breakout. Well, we do have the sell zone that is definitely going to repel the bulls right there. But look what's happening here, right? So they bought below that doji, they bought again a little bit. Why did they buy here? Because I don't know if there was a gap here, but we do have a gap here. So even if it dips down, buyers are waiting there probably. So goal is to close this in 4 seconds, doji, and there will be buyers stacked here, wanting to buy. To go further up, but still it could come down and finish the job like it did here, okay, and then go back up. So that is what I am watching right now. Now, can this be suddenly a strong sell, right? So this high is lower than that high. That makes us possible second entry sell. If this was a first entry, it's trying to become a second entry short for bears, okay? And it's a possible bear flag too, because this high is lower than that high. So count still intact. So that's how I look at it. But you're trying to sell against 34 and 33, and there's a gap, bull gap here, and the limit order buyers are probably on their need. Like I said, they already bought it. Okay, they already did buy it. So if you actually bought here, they're looking for quick pullback to get those stuck with buying the close of 34 out of their trap positions, and that's exactly what's happening there. You see that? those who bought the close of 34 trap. So they're going to buy underneath that, okay, to maybe, you know, trap out. But really, when these bulls, in a situation like this, they're going to buy. They're not going to buy with the close at the high of the trading range, okay? They're going to look to buy here and see if they can actually scalp. They have scalped nothing. Maybe they scalped the 1 point when it went up, but that's about all they got. So this is now becoming possibly, if it closes very bearish, it's the second entry short from the highs. So the bears are still trying to put a bear flag here with a double top. That means if this bar closes strongly bearish here and the next bar goes up but ends up closing bearish, we're going to come down to the neckline. But right now, this bar hasn't closed. Those bulls who bought 1 tick under or 2 ticks underneath bar 35 haven't made any decent money. So the next bar possibly, oh, it's getting really strong now. It's going into this gap to see if there are buyers there. But it's now has become a second entry short for those sold underneath. Instead of buying, they sold underneath. I didn't sell it. I was really expecting bulls to show up. They did. I mean, I don't know if you guys noticed, this was 1 point, went up here at doji. All they got was maybe a 1 point. I don't even know if they bought here. That would give them a 1 point, definitely. But that's all they got. So if they're out, I said this could dip further down to the bar 32 high. And okay, so the bears are trying to close that gap and see if there are buyers here. So now they're going to buy around here to break even. But to me, this is now a second entry short, and the bears are trying to come to the neckline. So testing the bar 32 high is important. That would close the gap, which they haven't yet. There's still 1 tick left open, but I'm sure they will close that. So when there are buyers, there are also sellers. Okay, that's why I'm reading the both sides. This is a double top, and I said hours before that, when I was before L came in, there's a possible double top bear flag that we could get. So that's what the bear machines are trying to do. They're selling underneath this bar to get that. But I don't know. I wouldn't sell against these two bars. I would like to see bear bar actually closing on its low. Okay, so they did close a decent bear bar. That is the second entry short. Okay. And but those bulls who bought underneath this 2 bull bar and a doji combo with a limit order, they're upset. So they want to see this bar go up there so they can get out where they entered long. So they're counting on this bar to go up, and if it doesn't, they're going to exit out. And exiting out, that means giving up. That could bring us down to the neckline fast. Oh, that's it. So the 37 breached the low of 36, and that's bad news for those who actually bought underneath this, right? So they're going to be like, okay, this is no good. We are just, bears are trying to close that gap. And they just did right there. So they tested the bar 32 high. We need continuation bar in order to come down to the neckline. That would strengthen the bear flag, but again, I'm very wary selling against these 2 bars. So what you're seeing here is also bulls and the bears fighting. Whether this is a good buy area or bears are buying and exiting out, buying and exiting out. They're trying to break even as quick as possible if they don't see value waiting for this bar to go up here and break even all those bought underneath 33. So that's why we're stalling here. And this is how I read it, because I've seen it happen so many times. If bar 36 were to close bullish, we would have been up here and I would have been selling right from there. But look at the way the bar 36 closed. So can we still go up there? Bar 37 needs to be a failure to follow through or break down, because bar 36 in a way it's a breakout, and bar 35 is trying to become a follow through bar. If the follow through bar fails, meaning closes bullish, then yes, we still have a potential to go up here, make a 3 push wedge top now. So it's a critical area, I think. And it's just too slow. And I am done with my session. But I do want to still trade my other account, which is my micro account that I haven't traded yet. So I'll probably be around. In the Discord. Oh yeah, 1 point with 25 contracts. That's a good one. I know, I heard that. I was like, that's a good one. I could do that. Just trade once and be done. Okay, see, bulls are still trying. Okay, so those bulls who bought underneath 35 now broke even. They're out. They got a big relief. So it did work out. But you see how I'm reading it? I'm expecting something to fail and something else to happen for certain reasons. Okay? Now, I know that those bulls are trying to get out here. They got out. So those who also entered here, they're trying to get out. Okay? But can the more bulls actually jump in if this bar closes like that? That becomes a what? High 1. Actually, that would be high 1. That would be high 2, right? So bar 35 is high 1, and bar 37 is now high 2. So the stop order bulls are going to now look into jumping in 1 tick above 37, going for a 1 point scalp, and then have a runner into this area. But really, it's all about mission to now get these bulls, both the close of 35, 34, get out of the market, you know, safely. So that's the whole thing. Now look, right there, they just got out. Many of them actually broke even. They have lost no money whatsoever. But now those who bought 1 tick above 37 are making a point. Right? So if you bought 1 tick above, that means 37.50 you get filled. 38.50 is where you want to scalp, but really you need market to go. Sorry, that 37.50. Yep, that's it. So you scalp. Everybody scalp safely. 1 point an extra tick. Now their runner is running because bears completely failed. Why did the bears fail? When you get a second entry like this, you already scalped 2 points. But where is your follow through? And that's what I was saying. If that follow through bar fails and starts to close bullish, and this one closed insanely bullish, that's it. You're done. So market is going to go 3 push top, and it's going to go right there. So when you're in a position, is whether you bought or sold, you have to also be aware of where is this going to fail. Okay? So what happened to that bear flag? Well, you're selling against, I said, 34 and 33. The best that the bears are probably going to do is to test that 32 high, because there is a bull gap there. Buyers are stacked here. Okay? They're going to take it over. Now, if you put a sell order here, you had a good reason. In fact, I was not right here. This is the way that I was supposed to do it. Yep. So right there, your sell order activated automatically, and you made a couple of points right there. So, but really the bulls are trying to reach that ledge area. Can they keep pushing this? Well, it is wedged up, but you need some kind of bear body, right, to see if bulls are actually taking profit first. Now we're testing the Globex low, and bulls are trying to get to that ledge. Because I guess there's a ledge. No. Well, I'll just call it as a ledge. So we're going to the moving average right there, which is weave up. For me to sell this, I have to wait. I don't sell blindly, just putting a bar there and then expecting to get filled, because it could still keep going up and up and up. There's a magnet there. I wait for some kind of sell signal bar to sell it. There's nothing there. This is still breaking out. In fact, it's trying to now reach that measured move target. So it's above the ledge. I did say that better to sell at the 42.42. If you paid any attention, and I said it could also go to 42.43, somewhere around 42 or 43 area, and I said somewhere inside this sell zone, that's where the market wants to go and test. So we are at the 42.42 right now, but I'm not going to sell against this bar that has such velocity slamming into this sell zone that is showing me no signs of selling. I'm going to let it go because it's got magnets here and a target. So all you have to do, get out of your short if you sold this, okay, and then buy that close or above and just go long. All right, so if you bought here, that's a 5-point scalp area with extra 2 ticks to cover your entry and exit. Right, 5.5 points. So you're getting a solid 5 points if you enter 1 tick above, although I didn't really measure it accurately. 37, 37.50, 37.50. Yeah, 5 rounded. Yep, 5-point scalp right there. So some bulls are already scalping. Look at the way that body opened. They're getting out. Can this further go up? Further up to, let's see, maybe 44 or 45? Sure, because it's trying to finish the job. There's some auction was happening here, guys. Strong auction, and especially, you see this double top equal highs? That is auction failed, okay? So basically, market is trying to finish that auction. That's what it is. 42, 44, but I warned you about 42, 42 area there, or 42, 43 area, that 1 point area, sellers waiting. Early sellers showed up right at the boundary, okay? And it did come down, if you remember. But then I said, I'm not selling against this because I don't enter the market with blind orders. I park it and hope for the best, right? Because I need to put the stop somewhere up here. I rather to look for body to close and then look for a signal bar, because there was still room for this bar to go up a little bit. All right, I am done with the session. I will see you guys next week. Let me check something. Okay, so it looks like 22nd Monday is me, Tuesday Al, and then I've got 3 days, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, also me. Yeah, the squirrel is out. It was out the same day. As soon as I was done with the session, I decided to, I couldn't find it first. I don't know where it went. So I said, I'm going to open the doors. I opened the studio door into the garage and the garage door into the outside. And then suddenly, and I went all the way up to the stairs, and I watched that little animal just huppity, just stop right at the door. It's like, dude, just get out. It's freedom right there. The door's open, the light. Why do you stop? Like, why do you want to stay here? It literally stood there for like 10 seconds. And then I threw something and it just jumped out. So that was it. Let's see. 4244 ledge, that's where the auction ends. It needs to go one tick above. And then the measured move target right there. But many machines did take profit there. Why? Look at this climactic sell, 1, 2, 3, 4, right? Selling began right there. That's why many, so even here, that's why that bar closed right there. Many bulls started to take profit. Now, do you see a good sell signal bar? I don't. Can I sell this? No. What should I do? Wait until price gets above this, okay, failed auction with at least one tick to finish it, meaning 44.25 needs to be tested. There are also sell stops are waiting there, buy side liquidity waiting there. So all sorts of stops and institutional buy orders, everything's waiting there. So bar, what bar is that? 39 is not a sell bar. It's a continuation bar. And auction is about to be finished. Okay, you see how it just tested? Body didn't even go, whoop, it goes and it just comes right back down. That auction is done and gone. I'm gone. I'm done with this. But there's still leftover target, 42.45. But I would be careful here. You should take profit because it could go a little bit up and may not even test that 45.50. So you can front run your profit taken. It's very close, only point and extra tick, but it could fail because it did what it came for, okay, to finish that auction. So it is done. All right. Have a great weekend. I'm going to go find some food, and I'll come back and trade my small account, and then I'll see you guys in the Discord room. Bye, everyone.